My best friend Camille lived in Compton in the 90s, so I was over his house all the time. At one point in my life, Compton was like my second home. Down the street from my best friend's house on the corner of Castlegate and Alondra was a music store owned by an OG by the name of Big A. Every Tuesday we would go inside to see what new tapes came out. See kids, unlike today, back in those days, for whatever reason, albums were only released on Tuesdays. Yeah, I still don't get it. Anyway, one day we walked in and Big A was playing a tape that was bumping. I said, "What's that, Big A?" He said, "That's that Tweety Bird LOC." Tweety Bird LOC was born Richard Johnson, and he is affiliated with the Kelly Park Compton CRlPs, which is the hood my best friend Camille grew up in. Tweety Bird LOC was very instrumental in organizing the Banging on Wax project. If you notice on the CRlP side of the album, most of the rappers were representing Compton CRlP. You had Atlantic Drive, South Side, Neighborhood, and of course, Kelly Park. Eazy-E actually grew up in Kelly Park and was good friends with Tweety Bird LOC. But due to a business venture that never panned out, Eazy and Tweety Bird LOC parted ways. Eventually, Tweety released a song titled "A Hoe Is a Bitch," which was a direct diss at his former friend. The song also dissed manager Jerry Heller and Cocaine of Above the Law. Tweety Bird also had beef with New York rapper Tim Dog, who earlier released a song titled "Fuck Compton." Tweety would eventually respond to this with a song titled "The South Bronx," which was also directed at hip-hop pioneer KRS-One. The classic album that we bought that day from Big A's record store was 187 Ride By, which would eventually go on to be a hood cult classic. I've reached out to Tweety Bird LOC for an interview, but from what I understand, he doesn't do interviews without getting paid, and I don't pay for interviews. Fair enough though. I hope I get the chance to chat with him someday, as I'm sure he has an amazing story to tell. Thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for more content.
I went to Dominguez High. Now when you walk,
my goals in life ain't to be an OG, period, nigga, for real.
YG for life, huh? With them.
I mean, on lanes, nigga, I'm an OYG, period. That's the best I could be.
But I enjoy West Coast hip hop, especially gangster rap. I remember buying the Damu Riders tape back in 1995. When I popped the tape in and hit play, I was greeted by a voice that stood out. A voice that I never heard before. That voice was B. Brazy.
Let's get high, bitch, in my Damu ride, sitting on the gold ones, getting that side to side.
Bruce Anthony Parrish Jr., better known by his stage name B. Brazy, was born December 12, 1974 in Los Angeles, California. He was a member of the Denver Lane Bloods, as well as a member of the hip-hop groups Bloods and Crips and Damu Riders. Parrish made his debut in 1994 with one appearance on the Bloods and Crips' second album, Bangin' on Wax 2. The saga continues. The group split the following year, and B. Brazy became one of the main members of its spin-off groups, Damu Riders. He is featured on 11 of 13 songs on the group's 1995 self-titled album and 10 of the 16 tracks on the group's final album, How Deep Is Your Hood? On these albums were 3 B. Brazy solo songs: Bitches Can't Ride for Free on Damu Riders, Young, Active, and Brazy, and Get Your Money on How Deep Is Your Hood?
The place where B. Brazy got killed at, 800 block of West Manchester. It's called the Tan Man Motel. The last area right here. Rest in peace, B. Brazy.
On May 9th, 2003, Parrish was ambushed and shot in Inglewood at the Sandman Hotel on the 800 block of West Manchester Boulevard. According to Inglewood police, when police arrived, they found him unresponsive and suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was only 28 years old.
My goals in life ain't to be a OG, period, nigga, for real.
Life be for life, with them.
I mean, on lanes, nigga, I'm a OYG, period. That's the best I could be.
They call me Sin Low, yes, the G that ain't no